The main objective of this video is to know the measures how we can control the soil pollution. The soil can be managed well by using a few R's. For example, by reducing the chemical fertilizers and pesticides. By using the natural manures and fertilizers, we can reduce the use or amount of the fertilizers and pesticides so that the soil fertility can be improved. Reusing of materials like gunny bags and pots, for example, they can be used for other purposes once they are used. Then recycling and recovering of materials, for example, plastics, garbage, and nowadays, in Chennai, few roads are even made up of with this by using the recycling method. Restoring the earth. Initially, we have to respect the nature. If we protect the nature, nature will give us life. Then the earth can be saved or protected by planting the more plants. That is called as reforesting. Means keep on planting the plants. Then reinforcing the importance of the safe soil. From the beginning of the childhood, each a student or a child should know how we can save the soil and earth. That is, rethink and realize. Before we throw anything, we have to think once how this can be reused or again used. Then this can minimize the waste and garbage at many phases. Safe collection and transport of solid waste. Initially, we have to separate the waste like dry waste and wet waste, and this should be safely transported to away from the domestic or residential areas. Neutralization of acids and alkaline waste. So, acids should be neutralized and alkaline wastes before they are thrown. Bioremediation to clean the contaminated soil and water. This is a means of removing the wastes or unwanted materials or toxic contents from the soil and water. That is called bioremediation. Crop rotation and mixed cropping to improve the fertility of the land and crop yield. For example, uh, when we grow these coconut plants, under this even cocoa plants and other flower plants can be grown. Then crop rotation means what? So having or planting the different crops in a annual period in a year, instead of growing a same paddy field as a three crops, so we can rotate the crops or uh, fields. Then burying the solid waste away from the residential areas. All the collected waste should be buried away from the means outskirts. We have to use for burying. Then terracing and contour plowing to prevent the rapid surface runoff of water. Terracing means we know that is to grow the plants and the domestic plants over the terrace. Contour plowing means growing the plants in stepwise manner. This can prevent the soil erosion and also runoff water. Then watering the soil to prevent the soil erosion. When we keep on irrigating the land, then the soil will be always becomes tough or very tight. This can prevent the soil erosion. Soil salinity can be reduced by excess irrigation of water. This is also same. The soil organism should be promoted to improve the fertility of soil. For example, earthworms and rhizobium. This all will be frequently improving the fertility of soil, and also they will be adding nutrients to the soil and the plants. Planting of indigenous crops. When we prefer indigenous means what? Native crops, then they will suit the weather of that country or that native place. They can yield more when we prefer indigenous crops. Group housing or apartment living should be encouraged, which will minimize the area, that is land used for residential purposes, and more area can be promoted or reserved for cultivation of the crops. Pyrolysis of carbon waste like firewood, coconut, paddy, and palm waste. What is pyrolysis? This is cleaning or recycling of the waste by using anaerobic process with chemical decomposition under high pressure and high temperature. Then gobar gas plants or biogas plants are promoted or encouraged to recycle the dung and also domestic waste. So this can be used as biodiesel too. These are the various measures which can be used to control the soil pollution. Thank you, and please do subscribe.